while I'm sad. You've been out all night, know you've been bad. Don't tell me different, know it's a lie. Come to me, honey, see how I cry.
Recovery Show, Bernie Z, that's me. I'm here today to talk about step 5 from the perspective of the family member or the person that is not the addict but is in that realm. Step 5 is admitted to ourselves and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. For the person that's being approached by the addict with this admission, it can sometimes be hard because you've been hurt. Things have been done that not only hurt you, but also may have scarred you. So in the process of this, an addict trying to make amends and admit that to somebody needs to be very careful with that. But then be aware if somebody comes to you and starts admitting it, and it may not be to you in particular, but to just any other person, that they've done some things wrong. That's a real big step for a recovering addict, but it's also a big step for the person listening, because they get to hear that this person's truly starting to feel some sorrow for what they've done, and they have to be very, very careful of that, because they're going to explain the nature of that wrong. For me, it was working with my kids to help them understand that while I wasn't there for them, I still loved them. And I was gone different times in my life where I wasn't there for them in their life. And it wasn't exactly that I wasn't present, but I wasn't there mentally. I was already thinking about gambling. I look back at things like when my oldest and youngest both graduated from high school. There were a lot of things that were floating around. And over time, you begin to develop a different perspective on that. But for them, it would be hard. I mean, I have one son that doesn't talk to me much. And I think a lot of it's because he thinks everything's about money. The other one, we've worked through some things. But even with my dad, in order to admit that I'd done something wrong, I had to start working on that amends process that happened ahead of this. That's coming up. We have to really work on looking at things and working through them. And that's really a difficult thing, because in order to do step 5, you really do need to know that you're not alone. And that's that higher power. You have to have gotten to the point where you've admitted you've done something wrong. And this also reflects on the person receiving the words that the addict is giving it. They need to be prepared for it. As you see the person you know coming out of recovery, if you're another person in recovery there to listen to them, then remember your experience. But the key there is to know that this person's doing it not because they have to for somebody else, but they have to for themselves. That's a lot of burden to carry upon shoulders. Think about the things that have been that they're looking at. I mean, with a compulsive gambler, they're looking at all the money they lost. It could have been done for scholarships, for education for their family members, for food on the table, for housing, all the different things, and the different things that may have been lost because of it, including retirement and that kind of thing. So they're really struggling with it. But when they come forward and they admit it, they may not know the full extent of it, but they will know enough that they're going to try to give as much of the exact nature of it as they can. And a listening ear is always good. And I know that's hard for somebody that has not done that. But remember the things that when you're listening, think about the things that you may have done in your lifetime that you regret, or that may not have been the best of things to happen, and the effect they had on others. And consider that when listening. I'll talk another time more in depth on it, but for now, remember that. Consider listening to the side that's talking about the addict's aspect of it, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you for watching and for listening.